and welcome to the complete guide to the throne posture. The throne posture is the ideal position for your meditation practice. It's well worth learning to utilize this position even if you've mastered other postures, because it allows you to sit for long periods without any hardship to your body. So you can fully focus on finding the exact state of mind or achieving the goals that you want. Likewise, it's a very unassuming meditation posture. So if you want to practice your meditation in public, you can do so without drawing any attention to yourself. The throne posture is normally associated with the Western traditions, but you may be surprised how often it's used in the East. In this video, I'm going to share traditional wisdom in terms of symbolism and practical advice from the ancient Egyptian and Greek lineages. In ancient Egyptian, the word for throne is Isis. And of course, the goddess Isis is the mother goddess who represents all goodness and good intentions. You can actually see that the hieroglyph of her name, which is often on her head, is a throne. No one really knows why she was named after a throne, but I believe it's because she was born of love between Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky. And that to an ancient Egyptian, where most people would be sitting on the floor, a chair had a special significance. Being the point between heaven and earth, is a posture of complete balance, where you have the higher inspiration and vision from the sky and the grounded realisticness from the earth beneath your feet. In honour of the goddess Isis, I believe it's very good for someone starting their meditation practice to keep in mind the good intentions and positive outcomes they're trying to create before they start their practice, perhaps as they put their throne in position. Now, how do we know about the ancient Egyptian use of the throne posture so many years ago? Well, we know from the statues that they created then and from the depictions they have on their temples. We also have some direct knowledge through the Hermetic schools, who would have probably learnt from the very same statues we're looking at and from some of the Egyptian priests remaining at the time. The Hermeticists have a saying, as above, so below. And when we start our practice, we really do need to keep this in mind. So our physical posture is what creates our mental posture for our meditation. The ancient Egyptians used to always sit with their feet and their knees together. So it's important, particularly if you're a man, that you make sure everything's comfortable as you do this. And this is a very important symbolic gesture for the Egyptians, as well as a practical posture for us. In ancient Egypt, the builder's square, being at right angles, represented ma'at, truth, justice, correctness. You need a correct body to have a correct mind. So make sure that you're thighs are always horizontal. And you can do this by putting blocks under your feet or lifting them on cushions or by sitting on a cushion yourself. Whenever possible, make sure things are well aligned. If you fail to do this, if you're at a slight angle, you'll find that the edge of the chair, particularly if your knees are lower than your hips, will actually cut off the blood flow. And then your meditation becomes an exercise in imperturbability rather than in higher awareness or mindfulness. Once you know this area of your body is in alignment, make sure that your pelvis is also straight, your back straight, and you've probably noticed that on ancient Egyptian statues they always have one fist clenched, sometimes holding an ankh or some other symbol, and one open. This, I believe, was in allusion to the rule of polarity. Just like the signs that we see with the crook and the flail, it was a sign of male and female, light and dark, active and passive. This is a good form of symbolism of balance, which we can combine with our thoughts on a throne itself. The Egyptian statues always likewise have the head perfectly in alignment with the shoulders back, looking straight forwards as if into a distance. When you first start with your throne posture, make sure you increase the time that you're sitting gradually. You'll see the statues often seated with their back against the chair, but in modern Hermetic practice, you always see people supporting their own back, and this prevents you from losing awareness or becoming sleepy. Sometimes you'll see some beads being held. I've seen this in an Egyptian statue with the bead string to the side of the knee like this. I've also seen Phocian statues which are imitative of the Egyptian, with the beads which are a bit longer over the elbow like this. So it may be that they sometimes used rosaries or malas for timing their meditation. But if you read the Hermetic texts, it does appear that they were more focusing on meditation as an exercise, like we'd practice a physical exercise now, trying to achieve a certain state of mind and hold it as long as comfortable rather than timing things. But there are other sources of information on this very important posture. If we look to Christian monasteries, both in the Egyptian Coptic tradition and in the Orthodox Greek, they have a lineage of this posture which dates back all the way to the pre-Socratic Greek philosophers, and they sit slightly differently. For them, the knees are always apart. They almost always use a rosary which is strung over the knee like so, and this is a beautiful way to practice. Sometimes you'll see them hold this over their heart, like so. Likewise, you'll see there are some small variations in how they utilize the posture. Often they will use a cushion, and this cushion is put right to the back of the throne, so that when you sit on it, you're slightly off the end of it, and this naturally straightens the pelvis. And this is really useful when you're just beginning, because it puts you in perfect alignment. Actually, in some of these monasteries and in some of the ancient meditation temples that I visited in Greece and in southern Italy, you can see that this is actually built in, this slight downward slope built into the chair. If we go further up, you'll see that everything's a lot more relaxed. The spine is not always completely straight, and the head is tilted. This probably comes from a tradition of keeping the focus on the navel, but modernly in Christianity, in their esahia, their inner silence practice, this is interpreted as a position of reverence or prayer. It's very interesting to see this, because if you read the ancient Indian texts, you'll find that all the postures that we modernly associate with meditation involve this bound with this lock here. Drawing from these two beautiful traditions and adding to your practice with the small adjustments and tips I've mentioned, you'll be able to build your own throne posture, a position which you will be able to use to perfect your inner self and to be able to bring good works into the world. Many people have added symbolism to the throne itself, drawing on their own traditional writings. Of course, in Hermeticism, the four legs of a chair have become associated with earth, air, fire and water, or with the vows to know, to dare, to will and to stay silent. There are some beautiful traditional Christian texts which go through the different areas of a throne, and they associate each part of its physical construction with a different virtue. Likewise, in the Bible, there is an association with the word throne and an order of celestial beings, of angels, which represent the divine authority. Everyone can find their own associations with the physical tool of practice to suit their own personal taste. But the most important thing is to be able to make this actual posture a place which is comfortable for your body, so that you can do your inner work with ease. My name's Martin Folks, and this has been a complete guide to the throne posture, which I hope will be of great benefit to anyone wishing to develop and utilise this very underrated position for meditation. Until next time, let's let every word, thought and action